Goal Seek and Solver. Another way to ask Excel what if is by using the Goal Seek and Solver tools. In this lesson, we will discover how to use Goal Seek, use the Solver add-in, use the Solver tool, and add constraints to the Solver tool. When creating scenarios, we simply asked Excel to change the values in our worksheet to see how that would affect our numbers, or totals. When we use Goal Seek, we'll ask Excel to change the value of a cell in order to reach a certain goal. Once again, our worksheet is shown here. Using Goal Seek, we might ask Excel what value we would have to change in C4 in order to reach a grand total of 326 sales. Note that right now, our grand total is at 305. To use Goal Seek, go to the Data tab, click on the What If Analysis button, and then choose Goal Seek from the drop-down menu. You'll then see the Goal Seek dialog box. The first thing we're going to do is input what cell we want to set a value for, or a goal. If we look at our worksheet, we want the cell that has the grand total. That cell is J6. We can simply click in the Set Cell field in the dialog box, then click J6 in our worksheet. Keep in mind that the cell you choose must be a formula cell. Next, we enter the value that we want to set that cell to. We're going to set to 326. Now we're going to click in the By Changing Cell field and click the cell in our worksheet that we want to change by reaching the goal. We click on cell C4 in our worksheet. Click OK. We can now see that the total has been adjusted to 326. If we look at our worksheet, the number of sales has been adjusted in the cell C4 to make it so we reach our goal of 326. In this case, it's changed to 31. Click OK if you want to keep the numbers. You can always click Undo if you want to undo it. It will change the value back to 10. With Goal Seek, you can only set the value of one cell, as well as changing the value of one cell. It's a very simple tool to use, and it provides simple results. If you want to complicate things a little bit, you'll need to use the Solver tool. However, the Solver tool is an add-in to Excel 2013. To use it, you must first activate it. You'll need to go to the Developer tab to activate the Solver tool. That said, sometimes the Developer tab is not showing. To make it so the Developer tab is displayed, go to the File menu, click Options, then click on Customize the ribbon. Put a check mark beside the Developer box here, and then click OK. Now click on the Developer tab in the ribbon. Click Add-ins in the Developer tab. Go to the Solver add-in and click the checkbox, and then click OK. If you now go to the Data tab, you'll see Solver on the right here. Click on it and you'll see the Solver dialog box. When we use the Goal Seek tool, we had Excel change the number of sales for the employee named Smith in the month of February in order to reach a total of 326 sales. You can see in our worksheet that Smith was the only one who would be required to make a lot more sales in order for us to reach our goal. If we wanted to spread the sales out evenly amongst the employees, or even evenly across different months, we would use the Solver tool. In our Set Objective field, we still want to add the cell that contains our objective. This is our total cell where the total sales are listed. We can then set that value to maximum, which is the biggest value it can possibly be, or minimum, which is the minimum value it can possibly be, or value of, which is an actual value. We're going to select value of, and then enter our actual value of 326. Next, we can select a range of changing cells. Remember, in Goal Seek, we could only change the value of one cell to meet our goal. For this example, we're going to select the sales for all employees in the month of February. Next, we can add constraints. However, we're not going to do that right now. We will learn how to add constraints later in the lesson. Now we can select a solving method. There are 3 different solving methods. The 3 solving methods are GRG Nonlinear, Simplex LP, and Evolutionary. You can click the Options button for further options on these solving methods. Below the drop-down for these methods is an explanation of each of these methods. If you're unsure which one to use, it's usually best to select the GRG Nonlinear engine. For now, that's what we're going to choose. So click on the Solve button. As you can see, the Solver tool has produced a solution. We can look in our worksheet and see how the values in our changing cells have been changed. If we're happy with the solver results, we would click OK. However, we have a problem. Our values in the worksheet now have multiple decimal places. Smith can't sell 28.804 units of anything. We need whole numbers. To fix this, we must add a constraint. Click Cancel in the Solver window, then reopen the Solver tool. Click the Add button to the right of the Constraint section in the Solver tool. Next, for the cell reference field, we're going to select our changing cells again, and then select int for integer in the drop-down menu. Then click OK. We can now see the Solver dialog box again. Now click the Solve button again. Once again, we see the Solver results dialog box. Let's take a look at our worksheet. As you can see here, our numbers are now integers, which is another word for a whole number, and the Solver tool has met our goal of 326. We want to keep the Solver solution. However, if you don't want to lose your original values, it's best to save the Solver solution as a scenario. Click the Save Scenario button in the Solver Results dialog box. Enter a name for the scenario and then click the OK button. You are then taken back to the Solver Results dialog box. Check Restore Original Values, and then click OK. Now we've just learnt how to add a constraint in order to get the solution that was practical for us. We used an integer constraint. Let's learn to add other types of constraints. To do this, open the Solver dialog box again. You'll see that ours shows the same settings from earlier on in the lesson. Click the Add button to the right of the constraints. This time, we're going to use the less than or equal to constraint. We're going to say that when Solver produces results, that cell C4, which is for the employee named Alexander, must have a value that's less than or equal to 20. Let's say we want to do this because Alexander has a small territory and it's just not possible for him to get more than 20 sales. Click OK. Here's another type of constraint we might add. We're going to say that cell C3, which is Jones, must be greater than or equal to 30. Let's say Jones has a large territory. Click on Add. Now in our cell reference we select C3. Now we select greater than or equal to, then 30. Then click OK. As you can see, our new constraint have now been added. You can add multiple constraints, however adding too many might mean Solver can't produce a solution. It can cause Solver to crash. Click on the Solve button. You'll see the Solver results dialog box when Solver finds a solution. Again, we're going to save this solution as a scenario, and then put a check beside original values. Now click OK.